Let's be brutally honest for a moment. This relationship has always been strange, almost as strange as some of Jennifer Hudson's more bewildering fashion choices. At times, it's impossible to tell whether she's trying to channel Mary Poppins, explore some kind of avant-garde Russian couture fantasy, or simply experiment with outfits that seem to have no intention of matching anything at all. Not her energy, not the theme, not even the direction the camera is pointing in. The entire vibe is mismatched, like two puzzle pieces that insist on being forced together even though they clearly belong to different sets. And still, here they were, a couple. Or at least that's what the world thought. But then everything changed. Common, who must have seen the rising chatter online about him, apparently decided to test boundaries or push things in this relationship and ended up learning a very harsh lesson. He learned quickly and painfully that Jennifer Hudson is not someone you play with, test, or half-love. If you wrong her, you feel it. Remember when they went public? When the world finally got confirmation that yes, Jennifer Hudson and Common were officially together. Well, according to swirling rumors, Common allegedly cheated with some unidentified woman after he was caught staring a little too long, a little too lustfully, in someone's direction. And when Jennifer found out, she did not whisper, she did not quietly leave, and she definitely did not tolerate it. She dragged him emotionally, shut the door behind him, and tossed him out of her life like a burning match. Jennifer Hudson is many things, but passive is not one of them. Common himself once said he was in a relationship with one of the most beautiful, intelligent, faith-driven, grounded, talented women he'd ever met. He praised her endlessly, from her divine connection to God to her achievements, including her EGOT status. He even joked that he had set his standards high. She had to win an Oscar for her first ever film. She had to secure her own talk show. She had to excel at everything she touched. And Jennifer actually did all of that. But despite being with a woman of such magnitude, Common was allegedly acting like the same playboy people had been accusing him of being for years. Fans who have followed his history weren't surprised. In fact, many were already waiting for this moment, and not because they wished Jennifer ill, but because they had watched this same cycle repeat itself with multiple women before her. Honestly, as ridiculous as it sounds, even Stevie Wonder could have seen this coming. Common's dating history is full of beautiful, accomplished, powerful women and a long trail of heartbreaks, breakups, and quiet allegations. If cheating on Jennifer Hudson, a woman who is literally an EGT winner, is true, then the audacity is off the charts. Jennifer is one of the most gifted performers alive today. Failing to treasure her is like throwing a diamond into the trash. But before we go deeper into the present drama, let's rewind and talk about something important: the warnings. Because Jennifer didn't walk into this blind. People, fans, insiders, gossip columnists, and even his own ex, Tiffany Haddish, warned her publicly and privately. Some people accused Tiffany of being bitter or jealous, but in hindsight, it's clear she wasn't hating, she was warning. She wasn't trying to destroy Jennifer's happiness. She was trying to tell her, "Girl, be careful. You don't know what I know." Tiffany had been hurt by Common not once, but twice. She had first-hand experience, not speculation. Back when Tiffany and Common fell for each other while filming The Kitchen in 2019, Tiffany was all heart. She fell hard and fast, and according to reports, tried to love him in every way she could, emotionally, mentally, romantically. She wanted him to match her energy, to meet her effort, to reflect her love. But Common didn't. He had a habit, a pattern of drifting away, emotionally checking out, or suddenly deciding he wanted to rekindle something with someone else. That happened with Angela Rye. Tiffany and Common were in love and building something, or so Tiffany thought. Then, out of the blue, he pulled away and went back to his ex. Tiffany was left broken, confused, and heartbroken. But a few weeks later, surprise, surprise, he was done with Angela too. And who did he run back to? Tiffany. Desperate for love, she accepted him again without making him prove himself. She didn't demand accountability. She didn't demand he earn her forgiveness. She simply fell again. And honestly, That vulnerability is what made her the ideal person to warn Jennifer. Because Tiffany already knew what heartbreak with him felt like. Common's relationship record before Tiffany wasn't great either. From Erykah Badu to Taraji P. Henson to Serena Williams, his history reads like a list of incredible women, and yet not a single long-term, stable, successful relationship in sight. His breakup with Erykah alone was messy. Common claimed she dumped him suddenly, breaking his heart. He called her his first love, his first heartbreak, and painted the story like she was the one who became interested in someone else. But Erykah, tired of being portrayed as the villain, subtly hinted that infidelity may have played a role, even though she didn't outright say it. Her statement about men needing to change said more than enough without saying anything explicit. Even after all this, Common still tried to shape himself as a man on a self-improvement journey. He talked about therapy, wisdom from Michelle Obama, learning how to choose partners and compromise. It sounded beautiful, but actions speak louder than therapy quotes. And the actions didn't match the words. Common consistently painted breakups as mutual, as time issues, as schedules not aligning, as we just stopped feeding the relationship. He did this with Tiffany too, trying to soften the truth. But Tiffany wasn't having it. She came forward and said exactly what happened. It wasn't mutual, he ended things, and she still hurt badly even years later. Now imagine Jennifer hearing all this history. Imagine walking into a relationship with a man whose past is full of emotional exits, mixed signals, heartbreaks, and rumors. A man with a pattern. A man many women have loved, but few have kept. Still, Jennifer gave him a chance. Their spark began while filming in Philadelphia. They had known each other for years, but something changed on set. They bonded, they lingered around each other, and soon it went from whispers to sightings to full-on public outings. Common even flew to London for her musical premiere, a bold move that confirmed to many that this wasn't casual. Jennifer tried to stay private. She tried to say people were making their own stories. But once they were photographed in Malibu on what was clearly a romantic date, there was no denying it. Then Common went on the Jennifer Hudson show and practically confessed he was in love. Everything looked promising. Until it didn't. Because soon after this public display of affection, rumors surfaced that things were getting rocky. And here's where Tiffany's shadow reappears. She admitted publicly that even years later, she was still healing from her breakup with Common. Still hurt, still processing. People called her obsessive, but honestly, she was telling the truth because Common, according to new reports, was showing the same patterns with Jennifer. Jennifer, meanwhile, has her own past trauma that shapes how she approaches relationships. Her engagement to David Otunga was long, complicated, and emotionally relationships. Her engagement to David Otunga was long, complicated, and emotionally draining. There were allegations, fights, fear, anger, and a long custody battle. She had experienced toxic love, manipulation, and emotional imbalance, and she wasn't going to accept another heartbreak. Which brings us to now. Insiders claim Jennifer discovered something that suggested Common wasn't being faithful. And when she confronted him, instead of apologizing, he allegedly started pushing for marriage fast. As if proposing would erase the accusation. As if a ring could hide infidelity. Jennifer wasn't fooled. People online have been telling Jennifer to run, literally run. Many say Common is a sweet talker, but not a long-term man. Others say she should trust her instincts and protect her peace. And honestly, they might be right. Because history has a way of repeating itself, and Common's history is loud. A wide shot appeared of a bustling studio control room, screens flashing, producers adjusting audio levels, editors scrubbing through footage frame by frame. The voice of the narrator echoed over the cinematic visuals. In the entertainment world, the truth is rarely what the headlines say. It's what lies underneath, between the unspoken moments, the quiet hesitations, the lingering doubts. As the sound design shifted into a slow, vibrating bass, the atmosphere grew heavier. This chapter wasn't only about Jennifer and Common anymore, it was about the ecosystem surrounding them. The managers, the publicists, the fans, the tabloids, the opportunists. everyone who had something to gain from keeping the fire alive. The documentary then cut to a dramatized roundtable discussion featuring industry insiders, anonymous silhouettes, their faces hidden in shadows, voices modulated. One of them remarked, "When two high-profile celebrities date, it's never just two people, it's two brands merging and sometimes clashing." Another added, "You think they only deal with relationship problems? No. They deal with perception problems, narrative problems, timing problems. Everything is amplified 10 times." The camera slowly panned away as their voices faded. The scene transitioned to a spacious rehearsal hall. Jennifer's dramatized version was shown practicing vocals, surrounded by backup singers and musicians. She looked focused yet emotionally distant. Even while hitting every note perfectly, something weighed on her shoulders. The narrator explained that Jennifer's world wasn't just about singing or acting. It was about maintaining her reputation as a powerhouse, someone who had survived immense loss, rebuilt her life, and continued to shine. But even the strongest people get tired. Jennifer's voiceover then came in, expanding the emotional depth. "I think people forget that I'm human. They see strength, but they don't see the cost of it." Meanwhile, Common's dramatized scenes were filmed with a different aesthetic: warm lighting, handwritten notes scattered across a small wooden desk, vinyl records leaning against a wall, a typewriter clicking softly in the background as he worked on lyrics. His voiceover said, "Growth takes time and patience. I'm learning. Every day. I'm trying to show up better. But learning doesn't happen without mistakes." These two worlds, Jennifer's polished professionalism and Common's introspective artistry, ran parallel. They were beautiful separately, but aligning them required effort, timing, and emotional readiness. And that's where the documentary highlighted the friction. The next segment explored how miscommunication slowly crept into their relationship, not through dramatic fights, but through tiny misunderstandings that accumulated gently yet meaningfully. A dramatized reenactment showed Jennifer sending a long message late at night, expressing how overwhelmed she felt. Hours passed with no reply. She stared at her phone, her expression a mix of worry and disappointment. Then the scene switched to Common sleeping in a hotel room across the country, his phone on silent after a long day of back-to-back interviews. The narrator spoke. "Sometimes the distance isn't physical. It's emotional. And sometimes it grows, not from conflict, but from timing." The screenplay highlighted specific fictional examples. Jennifer planned a quiet evening together, but Common had a surprise meeting scheduled. Common expected Jennifer at a reading session, but she was stuck in rehearsal overtime. Texts were misunderstood. Calls were missed. Both were trying, but not in sync. The script emphasized there was no villain, no betrayal, just life interfering. The documentary then widened its lens, showing the chaos of social media. TikTok edits, Twitter threads, speculative podcasts, YouTube gossip channels, all crafting narratives that neither Common nor Jennifer created. A montage rolled, headlines screaming "relationship in trouble," fans dissecting their interviews frame by frame, comment sections erupting with theories, tabloid covers flashing dramatic titles with exaggerated expressions. The narrator said, "Public opinion can kill a relationship faster than any argument." A dramatized PR manager explained, "Every time Jennifer posted without Common, people read into it. Every time Common had an event without her, it became a rumor. They weren't breaking up, they were breathing. But nobody lets celebrities breathe anymore." This part dove deep into the psychology of fame. How strangers believe they own pieces of your story. How emotions become headlines. How silence becomes scandal. Jennifer's voiceover expressed exhaustion. "I stopped checking social media. Every comment felt like someone trying to rewrite my life." Common added, "And you can be the most grounded person in the world, but the noise gets inside you." As the documentary moved into its core emotional section, the intensity softened. We saw both individuals in their rawest fictionalized forms. Jennifer sat with a close friend, only shown from behind, out of respect for privacy. She expressed that she had never wanted a perfect relationship. She wanted a real one. But real relationships require time, patience, and understanding. Common was shown having a deep conversation with his therapist, a powerful narrative moment emphasizing emotional accountability. He admitted that part of him feared messing up again. "I don't want to repeat my patterns," he said quietly. "I want to build something steady." This chapter explored the broader emotional landscape. Fear of vulnerability, fear of repeating past mistakes, fear of disappointing someone you admire deeply. The narrator explained that love, especially for people with demanding careers and public scrutiny, sometimes becomes more complicated than it should be. The climax of part 2 arrived slowly, beautifully, painfully. A dramatized dinner scene showed both of them sitting across from each other, not fighting, not arguing, just quietly acknowledging that something had shifted. They spoke calmly about their individual fears, ambitions, and emotional needs. Jennifer expressed the need for stability. Common expressed the need for emotional clarity. Both wanted peace for each other, even if that meant they needed time apart. The narrator described the moment as two hearts recognizing they still cared, just not in the same direction anymore. There were no tears, no slammed doors, no ultimatums, just understanding. Social media may love drama, but the documentary clarified one thing strongly: there was no cheating, no betrayal, no secret scandal, just two good people facing reality. Jennifer's final line in part 2 was symbolic. "I don't think love disappears. I think it evolves." Common's last line, "Sometimes letting go is an act of love too." And then the screen slowly faded to black. When news quietly leaked that Jennifer and Common had mutually taken space, social media didn't handle it quietly. The silence of the two celebrities became the loudspeaker for the internet. The documentary displayed a cascade of fictional digital chaos. YouTubers posting 20-minute breakdown videos, TikTok creators making dramatic timeline edits, podcasts speculating irresponsibly, Twitter threads dissecting body language, fans picking sides despite having no real context, screens flashed with dramatic fictional headlines. Did Common mess up again? Is Jennifer finally done? Breakup confirmed? Was there another woman? The narrator intervened sharply. In truth, none of these stories were accurate. But accuracy was never the point, engagement was. The public's hunger for drama drowned the quiet reality, two individuals simply choosing clarity over chaos. A dramatized scene showed a gossip reporter typing an article without any verified information. He leaned back, smirking, saying to a colleague, "Truth doesn't go viral. Rumors do." Then the documentary shifted to Jennifer's fictional reaction. She sat on her couch, scrolling through her phone, her face calm but tired. She wasn't crying, just disappointed. Not disappointed in Common, not disappointed in the breakup, but disappointed in how people twist what they don't understand. Her voiceover said, "I wish people knew that silence isn't guilt. Sometimes silence is grace." Cut to Common. He was in a studio, headphones around his neck, scrolling through online comments. He exhaled deeply, placing his phone face down on the piano. For a moment he looked overwhelmed, not by losing Jennifer, but by the weight of assumptions placed on him. His voiceover added, "You try to grow, and people still want to pin you to your past." This chapter made it clear. Neither was upset with the other. They were upset with the noise around them. In this section, the documentary separated the outer world from their inner worlds. Jennifer's healing arc, fictionalized, Jennifer took time for herself. Not to move on, but to breathe. Scenes showed her walking through a park early in the morning, sitting in a cafe with a notebook, spending time with her family, practicing music with a softer, more emotional tone, reflecting quietly in dressing rooms before shoots. She said, "Healing is not about forgetting. It's about understanding." She didn't run from the memories. She honored them. Common's healing arc, fictionalized, Common immersed himself in introspection, long late-night journaling sessions, therapy appointments, conversations with old friends, meditation, and grounding exercises, writing poetry about growth, not loss. He said, "You don't lose someone you respected. You carry the lessons forward." He wasn't mourning the end, he was evolving from it. This chapter was one of the most emotional segments of the documentary. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, it highlighted what went right, how they helped each other grow. Jennifer's lessons from Common, fictional, She shared that he taught her patience with personal transformation, the power of communication, allowing someone to express struggle without judgment, the beauty of gentleness, how two people can be strong differently, her voiceover said. Some people teach you through affection. Some teach you through pain. He taught me through honesty. Common's lessons from Jennifer, fictional. He expressed that she taught him emotional maturity, stability, how to speak his truth clearly, what consistency looks like, how a partner can uplift your spirit, he said. You meet rare people who help you become a better version of yourself. She was that for me. This chapter reframed the story. The end wasn't a failure. It was an education. Near the end of part 3, both gave separate fictional interviews, refusing to entertain the negative rumors. Jennifer said firmly, there was no betrayal, no disrespect. People grow, people change, and sometimes people choose different paths. Common echoed, no one messed up. No one did anything wrong. We just evolved in our own ways. The documentary intentionally highlighted that closure doesn't need conflict. A psychologist interviewed in the fictional segment added, healthy endings are rarely understood by the public. They crave drama because harmony is boring to them. And that was the heart of this chapter. People didn't want the real story because the real story wasn't sensational. It was human. This portion explored how they continued supporting each other indirectly. Jennifer complimented Common's new work during a fictional press conference, saying, he's doing incredible things creatively. I admire him for that. Common praised Jennifer in a fictional radio interview. She's one of the most powerful spirits I've ever met. I wish her nothing but the best. No bitterness. No shade. Just respect. The narrator explained, closure isn't the absence of love. It's the acceptance of reality. The final 10 minutes of the documentary unfolded like a poetic montage. Jennifer walked onto a stage, the spotlight outlining her silhouette. She smiled, not because she was performing for an audience, but because she had found her balance again. Common sat in a quiet room finishing a verse, his pen gliding smoothly across paper. He looked peaceful. The narrator concluded,